As tempting as it might be to say that Jurgen Klopp just needs to get to the end of the campaign and then rip up his side, the Reds still have plenty to play for this season. Starting with the Merseyside derby on Monday night, has a period in which it faces some big teams and big matches, including that looming double-header with. For the game with, then, Klopp has a couple of big selection decisions to make, not just with getting the victory at Anfield in mind, but with the run of fixtures to come as well. Can finally unleash $45 million weapon as return creates new Jurgen Klopp tool. Jurgen Klopp tweak has helped his favorite playmaker amid major Cody Gakpo boost those big calls are in defense and midfield, with attacking duo and Roberto Firmino unlikely to come straight back into the team from the start, even if they are back in contention after injury in defense. What would it say about and Joe Gomez if they were to be left out here, assuming that Virgil van Dijk is not fit enough to come in, with the huge clash with just around the corner? Neither Matip nor Gomez played well against Wolves, but the only other available centre-half, Nat Phillips, is a player that has been available for some time, with no club tempted enough to make a serious transfer move early enough for to cash in. While there are arguments to be made for his height and ability to defend from set pieces, Phillips' limitations are clear and few would expect him to play a part in matches against Newcastle and in the same is the case with, who is another option being put forward to play at centre-back, with his performances seemingly having dropped off enough in midfield to make the case for a position change. The Brazilian has looked like he has been running through treacle at times this season, but putting him one line further back will not solve that. Before the bigger and more testing games against Newcastle, and at least one of Matip or Gomez needs to recover sufficiently to partner Van Dijk, with the Dutchman expected back imminently, and Ibrahima Konate still sidelined. As for the midfield and Jordan Henderson, it would be a major statement about his captain if Klopp still did not recall him for a game in which leadership will be required, especially after a 3-0 defeat. While the midfield trio of Stefan Bajcetic and has looked improved lately, the Reds were soundly beaten by a team that had not previously scored 3 times in one match for almost a year. It was not all the fault of the midfield, of course, but it is a sign that something is still not right. Was clearly not particularly solid defensively and looked blunt in attack as well, but that just means a change is hardly out of the question. As such, it makes sense to reintroduce Henderson at this juncture, if not now, then when? As continues to experiment and find the fix to their woes, more tweaks are clearly required, but defensively, Klopp should really have no choice but to stick with at least one of his defenders from last weekend, or both if Van Dijk doesn't make it. Qatar back on the table for takeover as Jose Mourinho fights for FSG free transfer. Wildcard Jurgen Klopp successor named amid struggles as boyhood fan called ideal.